Today, a story about an immigrant named Emerson Garcia dos Santos. Emerson signed deportation papers in mid-June. Burlington was hell, Emerson said in Portuguese. Good treatment does not exist there. ICE agents detained Emerson in Fall River on June 8th as he was picking up other men for a painting job. At the time, he was the sole earner in a New Bedford home he shared with his wife, Erica, a U.S. citizen who was diagnosed with brain cancer in November. Should the husband of a U.S. citizen be detained? He had previously faced misdemeanor charges in Lynn District Court for operating a vehicle without a license and a headlight violation. Both charges were dismissed in August of 2024. Emerson was held at Burlington for most of one day before a transfer. He recounted being placed in a cell crowded with other detainees, all of them still in handcuffs. He said the guards didn't remove the handcuffs until he had complained for some time. He said they did not receive food for 6 or 7 hours, and when they did, it was a pre-made microwave dinner with small portions of mac and cheese, potatoes, and stewed meat. Quote, they gave us a thin Mylar blanket in case we wanted to sleep. I never did. He said detainees had no access to a shower and a total absence of privacy. There was a camera filming us using the toilet, he said. The treatment one gets there is only for criminals. There are no criminals there, he said. Does the worst of the worst, it's just honest people trying to live their lives that they brought in. Does Emerson sound like a criminal to you?
No.
Does he sound like the worst of the worst that this administration says they are targeting?
No.
Emerson said he decided to sign the deportation papers while in custody in Plymouth. He and his wife decided to speed up his deportation so they could more easily plan their future together. Authorities transferred him from Plymouth to the Alexandria staging facility in Louisiana, managed by the private prison company Geo Group and staffed by employees of Geo Group and ICE. The facility is the busiest hub of deportation flights in the country. Emerson said that the facility in Alexandria kept its lights on around the clock, the air conditioner was set full blast, and they were given 3 thin blankets for warmth. Phone calls, which had been free in Plymouth, now required detainees to maintain a $50 balance. He recalled falling ill with a fever of over 100 degrees at one point and asking the facility for help. Quote, they didn't even give me medicine for that, he said. Should our tax dollars fund private prison companies like the Geo Group? On July 3rd, authorities loaded Emerson and 59 other detainees on a plane headed for Fortaleza, Brazil. The flight lasted 10 hours. The detainees wore cuffs for 9 of them. Agents removed them when they entered Brazilian airspace in accordance with a 2017 agreement with the U.S. on deportations. The guards got to eat before us, and the chains made it difficult for us to eat, Emerson said. Only once the plane landed in Fortaleza did he get Tylenol for his fever. The Brazilian government gave me medicine, he said. We spent a day and a half in Fortaleza, and then I took a bus for 2 days home. Garcia dos Santos said he and his wife are currently in the process of obtaining a visa for her to go to Brazil. He said his perspective on the U.S. changed after his time in detention. Quote, I experienced such poor treatment there, he said. I have no desire to be in the U.S. right now. He said that hopefully, in a post-Trump future, they'd be able to return to the U.S. Human rights are human rights and belong to all human beings, said Gerald L. Newman, a professor of international foreign and comparative law at Harvard Law School. Quote, there is no difference between citizens and non-citizens in that regard. Do you agree with Professor Newman? On paper, the United States has ratified binding international human rights treaties that guarantee safe and dignified conditions in detention, Newman explained. But when it comes to accountability, the gap between principle and practice widens. Proving violations is difficult with little to no evidence emerging from inside detention centers. Testimonies of those who endured detentions are the only window into what actually happens behind those walls. Under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ratified by the United States in 1992, anyone under arrest is guaranteed humane treatment, the right to challenge detention before a court, and the presumption against pretrial custody. The Covenant, one of two treaties created to give the aspirational Universal Declaration of Human Rights legal force, grants these protections on paper, explained Newman, but enforcement is elusive.
Quote. Glad it wasn't just me. Quote.
Shake it.
Batteries.
Hello? There we go, we're back. I can't believe it.
It went in a mic drop.
Quote, the United States in various ways stays away from having binding international resolutions of its human rights violations, Newman said. There is no direct way of bringing into court the claim that the United States is violating this treaty, and for the reason for that is a treaty was ratified as what's called a non-self-executing treaty in the United States. In international law, that means the treaty does not automatically apply in U.S. courts. Congress must pass legislation to make it enforceable. Without that step, individuals cannot rely on it, even though it binds the country under international law. Do you think Congress should pass legislation to make the International Covenant on Civil Rights and Political Rights the law in the United States?
Yes.
Is that required in order to have justice for all?
No.
Please call your representatives to demand it. Thank you. All right, that concludes our problems with microphones and PA systems for today. Yay!